Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Francis Okoye. In this video, we're going to try to install and configure Active Directory in the cloud. Remember in the previous video where we deployed Active Directory infrastructures in the cloud, and in this video, we're going to try to configure those infrastructures and even install Active Directory and try to configure it in this video. If you've not watched the previous video, the Active Directory infrastructure deployment, please go back to my channel and watch it because this video is actually a continuation to that video, okay? Go back and watch it before you can continue this one, okay? And if you've watched it, let's get started. I'm going to share my screen right now and then we get to it. Okay, as you can see, this is the lab list that we're going to use. I try as much as possible to make out a lab list, a step-by-step guide so that it will actually help whoever that is watching this video to follow through and not to run into any problem. This is how I used to, I've learned to create my video, and I hope you find it very interesting and intriguing. Okay, so we're going to get to it right now. So like I used to say, get used to these variables. This is what we're going to use to try to narrate some technical words within this lab list. Okay, so just try to get used to it. And if you're looking at my left right now, you see we already created two virtual machines in our previous video, and one of those virtual machine is client 1, and which is running on Windows 10, and the second VM is DC1, which is actually our Windows server, and our domain control doubles as our domain controller. Okay, so that is why it's very important that you go back and watch that previous video before you can come here, because actually put out in detail how we got to this level. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so if remember in the previous video I told you to turn your computers off. You need to turn it up now if you have gotten to this level. Okay, so just turn your computers on and then we can get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do today is to install Active Directory domain services inside our domain controller. Okay, you can see our DC1. So we're going to install Active Directory domain services inside DC1. To do that, I've provided you a step-by-step guide on how to do that. So we're going to log into DC1 as usual. In previous video, I've taught you also how to log into your virtual machine, how to create virtual machines, how to log into. If you've not done that, just go back to my channel. You can, get to those videos. So we're going to get the public IP address of our DC1 computer, which is running Windows Server. This is this DC1. So to get this is minimized this way so that I can be seeing my checklist and my workspace. Okay, so to get the public IP address, I'm going to scroll like this and then I'll copy it. Okay, the Control C, and then I'll go to start and type remote desktop, and then I'll open it and try to connect. Remember, in a previous video, also have our login details. I'll paste the link here. I'll paste the IP address here, and I'll say connect. In our previous video, we already have our login details, which is lab user cyberlink 12345. Okay, so we'll type it in. Lab user. Okay, it's already on lab user, so I'm going to type in the password right now. Okay. Then we'll try to log in. Okay, so as you can see, we're now inside our domain controller. So we're logged in right now. So I'm going to open my checklist because most of our operations will be done here. I'm going to open my checklist here so that we can continue. Okay, so I'll minimize, just hold on a bit. I'll close this so it go up. I'll minimize this. Okay, I'll go back and get my checklist. Okay, remember how we used to do it. I'm going to still drop the link to this checklist in the description of this video so that you can actually download it and use it to do your practice. Okay, so I'll open the VM again, and then I'll open web browser. Okay, so I'll try to load it. Okay, so I'm opening the checklist here, and I'll minimize it, and I'll bring it to this side. Okay, just so we have something to work with. Okay, switch. Okay, so first thing first, activate ActiveDirectory domain services in DC1. To do that, we're going to click on Start, and then click on Server Manager. Okay, let me just close this man here. So add roles and features. Okay, click next. Click next. So we're going to add this computer. Click next, and then click on ActiveDirectory domain service. Click on it. Say add features. Click next again. Click next again. Don't worry, I provided instructions on how to get here. Then click restart the destination server automatically if required. Okay, then say yes, and you can now say install. Okay, so while this is installing, I'm going to minimize this to go back to my checklist. Actually, I'm going to push it to the side. Okay, while this is installing. Okay, I'm going to bring it. If there's need to actually maximize it, I will let you know. Okay, just for me to see my workspace. So this is installing right now. Okay, so and go back to the checklist. It says in the step 2, we're going to promote DC1 as domain controller. So we're going to promote, we're already in DC1, guys. We're going to promote this computer domain controller. We're going to promote it to domain controller using a new forest called mydomain.com. We're going to promote DC1 as domain controller using a new forest, mydomain.com. Actually, you can actually use any name of your choice, but it's because of this lab that I chose this for us to use it to promote this VM. Okay, so to do that, we're going to allow this man to finish installing before we can now go ahead and do the promotion. Okay, so actually I'm going to copy this. Okay, so this man finishes installing now, we're going to continue. Okay, so I think we're done. Okay, so just click on close this man too. Okay, so to do that, we're going to click on start again, click on server manager again, then we're going to close this. So pardon me, we're going to like maximize this. Okay, so just click on this yellow dot here, click promote this server to domain controller. Okay, add new force, then we're going to type in mydomain.com. In this case, I'm going to paste it. Okay, and then I'll say next. Okay, password. Let me see if there's any instruction for password in our checklist. Okay, so there's password instructions. So we're going to copy this password 1. minimize this. Then we'll paste it here. V, password one, and then we say next, and then we're going to uncheck this, right? And say next. It's loading. Say next again. Click next until you get to install. Okay. Next. Say next. Okay, so click install. So we're going to just allow it to, install, and after installation, we're going to allow this computer turn off. It's going to restart itself. Okay. So why this is going on, so you're going to check what we have. Okay, so after this computer finished restarting, I'm going to log back into DC1 and then try to observe the changes in the login process, because actually we have promoted DC1 to domain controller. The login detail lab user, our username will not actually work at this time. Trying to log in again, because we promoted it, as the main control, we need to specify the context of which we want to use to log into the computer, the VM DC1. Okay, so to do that, we're going to add the name of the domain controller, backslash the name of the username of the computer of the VM. And then we're going to try to log in with the same password. That's what happens here. So after this finish installing, it's going to automatically restart this page, and then we're going to try to log in back to this DC1 using the domain name backslash the name of the user, because actually we have promoted this computer to a domain controller. So you can't just log in with ordinary user. You need to specify the context of which you're logging in. I don't know whether that makes sense, but selection is still in progress. So click in and see. Okay, so you're about to be signed up. Okay, say okay, say close. We're going to close this. Let's see what happens. Okay, the computer is restarting or logged off. Okay, so we're back to the home page. So minimize it. So we're going to try to log in back to our DC1, which is this. Try logging back to it. Okay, so just copy the public IP, open remote desktop, and then paste it and connect. So let me show you what happens. Okay, remember our username to this VM is lab user and the password is cyberlink12345. So I'm going to pretend I didn't know what happens. Okay, I didn't know that this has promoted. Okay, I just type in cyberlink cyberlab, sorry, 12345. So I'll say connect. You see what happens. The logon attempt failed. Okay, so it's even directing us to specify it right here. Okay, so what we're going to do right now, just get your type in, just click more choice, click use different account. Here type in mydomain.com, mydomain.com / lab user, and then we'll put in cyberlab 123. Okay, so cyber lab 1 2 3 4 5. Try logging again. It lets us in. Okay, so we're back to the DC one. Okay, so it's now officially a domain controller. So this is you know the purpose of this lab. So we're going to continue the lab, and why this is loading, grouping policy, client policy, and all that, going on the back end. I'd like to minimize it, and then we get to the next thing we have in the lab. Okay, so okay. After restart, log back into DC1 as this. Observe the login changes. Okay, we did that. We know what happens already. I've tried to explain what happens. Okay, the next one we said in Active Directory users and computers, create an organizational unit called employees. So let's see if we're finished logging in. Policies are still setting up. So let's give it more minutes and then allow it to finish setting up, and then we can just continue to lab. Okay, we're in. Okay, now like I said, this computer is now being promoted as a domain controller. Okay, we can actually demote this, you can actually remove it, you can actually add it back, and maybe in the next lab I'm going to go in details. Okay, click this. Okay, so I'm going to try to open the lab here so that we can be seeing what we're doing. Okay, let me copy let me try and copy the sorry copy this link back, then open the VM back, and then try to paste it here to open the lab lab checklist here. Okay, so we're good. I think we're in step 4. Okay, so in Active Directory users and computers, create an organizational unit called employees. Okay, so I'm going to copy this to see, just so I don't mess it up. Okay, so to do that, we are in it said we should open our domain controller. This is the DC1 VM. So we're just going to click here and click Windows Administrative Tools, Active Directory Users and Computers. Okay, so when it opens, let's observe what is in it. Okay, so I observe inside this because this actually, when we installed Active Directory, this bunch of users were created, but we're going to still create our own users just to tell you and show you how it is done, and also how rights are being given, how admin rights are being given. All this we're going to cover in this lab. Okay, so observe that there's nothing in managed service account. There's nothing inside computer. Okay, domain controller, yeah, DC1 is there, yeah. Inside computer, nothing is there. We're going to still observe that this computer, something will still be added on this lab. Just keep watching. Okay, so this is what is inside our domain controller, mydomain.com. Okay, so we're asked to create an organizational unit called employee. To do that, right click on mydomain.com, click on new, and click on organizational unit. We're going to type in the name, Control V, and then we say okay. It's created. So we'll move on to the next one. Create an organizational unit called admins. Okay, see, so right click here, say new organizational unit, Control V, and it's created. Okay, we've created it, and then we'll move to the 6th one. Create a new employee named Jendo with username this and password this. This user actually is, we're going to create an admin user. Actually create a user and give her an admin right. Okay, that's what we're trying to do, so that we can actually use her to in the next logons that we're going to be doing. Okay, so we're going to create a user and give her admin right. The user called Jendo, and then we're going to give her admin rights. Okay, so to do that, we're going to create her under admins. Okay, Remember, we created an organizational unit called admins, okay, and also created employees. So, and we're still going to create a bunch of users under these employees, right? So, but under admins, let's create a user that is called Jindo. Right click on this environment and say new and new, sorry, users, okay? And the name of the user is Jane, and the last name is Doe. And user logon name, we're going to use Jane's admin, okay? Guys, remember all these names, you can actually use whatever you want, okay? Well, I'm just using this to just explain to us how these things are done, how it's just created, how everything is done, okay? So just Jane's admin, and after that, I think we can say next, right? Yeah, next. And then we can put in the password. Use this password cyberlab123. Just copy it and then we'll paste it here, okay? 123. I think that's very fast. So I'm gonna configure some settings right here. So users must change password at next logon. This is right, okay? If this is real life, when you're creating a user, you're actually giving that user the chance to actually reset his or her password from his own computers, right? When you create a user and then you said, okay, use this link to get in, and when the person gets in, the person needs to go through some kind of authentication to change his or her passwords to be able to, whatever password I created here, trying to create this user is known to me. But when you check this, the user have the ability to check and reset the password from the backend. But since it's still me and I'm going through this lab all alone, try to explain it to you, I'm going to uncheck it for the purpose of this lab, and then I will say password never expires. But in real life, this is very bad. You don't say, when you're creating a user, you don't say password never expires, but for this, for security reasons, you don't do that in real life, okay? You have to put it so that whenever there is issues, you get to still reset it from the back end, right? Hope that makes sense. So, but for the lab, I'm going to just say password never reset, and I will say next, and I will say finish. So we've created this user under this organizational unit called admins. Created a user, and next, I think what we have next is to give this user an admin right, and that takes us to the next step which you have in the lab, which is add Jane admin to domain admins. Okay, domain admin security group. So we're going to give her, the admin rights, add her into this domain admin security group, so that she has the authentication to operate within this within our OS ticket, within our domain, has the admin right to operate. So we're going to give her admin rights, domain admin rights, by adding her to the security group. And to do that, we're going to right click on the user and say properties. I think we can say properties, and we say member of, and then we're going to say add. I think so. So we're going to add her under domain admin security or security groups. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. You see, put it here. Okay, then I'll check whether it is. Oh yeah, it is. It's okay. So we'll say okay. I'll say apply, and I will say okay. So we've given Jendo admin rights. We can use that to log into this computer anytime we want, and all the computers that are linked to this domain controller. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we've done that, and then we're going to move to the next thing we have, which is 8. On the 8, it said log out log out or close the connection to DC1, which is this, and log back in as Jane's admin, adding this, domain.com, my domain.com, and then we're going to use Jane's admin henceforth, trying to like do other things. So let's copy this and we can put it in the desktop. So this is what we are logging in as. Okay, see. So to log off from this, I'm going to close this, and then I'll kill the connection here. Okay. So continue here. So we're going to copy the public. Okay, but first I need to paste the username that I've just, maybe did not copy. Okay, so but I think I have it here. Okay, so I think I have it here. So just go ahead and copy the public IP for our domain controller, which is DC1. DC1, so the last one. So we copy the public IP to try to log back in. That's what the instruction said. Control C, and then we'll open remote desktop, go to and type start and type remote desktop. When it opens, we're going to paste the IP address, we'll copy it and say connect. So I'm going to say more. I'm going to say use a different account and open this. I think I have Jane's login details here somewhere here. So I will say copy this. Just so V. I think the password is cyberlab123, right? Yeah, cyberlab123. Yeah. We'll copy it. Just see, and then we'll paste it here. V. Let me try to log in. Okay. So we're back in DC1, this time not as the originally created user, but as Jane's admin. Because we've given her admin right, so we can actually log back into DC1 with our, with our details. Okay. So after this, I'll open my checklist again so that we'll see what we have on this. I'll try to minimize it this way. Okay, so I'll try to minimize this way. I'll bring it this side, if you don't mind. So then I'll minimize this to copy my link, which is also a description of this video. I'll open back the connection again and I'll paste it here. Okay. So use it. So we've created this, added Jane, give admin rights. So we're 8. So we log back in. Okay, log out of, I'll close the connection of DC1 and log back in as Jane admin. We've done that right now. Okay, so we are moving to the 9th instruction, 9th step, and it said after doing that, but wait, let me check it and know whether I finished everything. Okay, log back in as Jane. Okay, yeah, we've done that. Okay, so it says log into client 1 as the original local admin lab user and join it to the domain controller. Okay, so what this means is that we're going to configure client 1, and try to join it to our domain controller. I hope you understand what I mean by that. So we're asked to log back in into client 1 using the originally created username and password. To do that, we're going to increase this, minimize this, sorry, and then we're going to copy the public IP address for client 1. Client 1 is the first one, and here is the public IP address. This is the public IP address. Copy it, say Ctrl C, and then we're going to go to start and open remote desktop again, and then we'll paste it here, V, and then we'll say connect. Remember this time is lab user as username and then cyberlink. Okay, cyberlab, okay, cyberlab 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so we are now officially in two virtual computers. One is domain controller where we logged in as Jane, and then this one now is our Windows 10 computer, which is client one, where we logged in as the originally created username, which is lab user and password one. Okay, lab user and cyber lab 123. Okay, so I'll open the checklist here, guys, so that we get to understand what we're doing. And step is taking too long. Okay, I never intended that the lab is going to take up this time. Okay, so I'll bring this man this way. Okay, so I'll copy the checklist again. Now open back the computer. Okay, so I have to minimize this, all of them. Okay, minimize all of them. Sorry. That's what happened when you are inside computer that is inside the computer. That's exactly what happens. So I'll open the VM. Okay, so this is the Windows 10 computer. I'll say Control V, open the lab checklist. Like I taught you, if you're lost, you don't know which computer, right click on the start menu and then click on system. You're going to see where you are actually at. Okay, so we are in Windows 10. Okay, we're in the right place. So I'll switch. So go back and look for where we are. Okay, so we're logged into client one as the original local admin lab user and join it to the domain controller. To do that, we're going to open another remote desktop, which we've done, and log into it, and then we're going to take the steps on here. Okay, so right click start and click system. Okay, start and click system. Okay, so we're going to click rename computers, right? Not this, rename this computer. This one, there is two. Don't click this one, just come and click this one, the one that have advanced. Okay, okay. I think we can click change, right? And then we can domain. Okay, then we can type mydomain.com. And we can say okay. And then because we don't have, this is client one, right? And this how do I explain this right now? We logged in as the originally created username and password lab user that we used to create this VM, right? And we try to link a domain controller, which client one is not an admin in. Okay, we try to link it to our domain controller. It's only a user that has admin rights that can enable us to do that, right? To actually use this domain controller is only a user or an admin under this domain controller that can allow us, or maybe have the admin rights to enable us to authenticate this these instructions right now, right, for us to do it. So to do that, we're going to enter Jane's details here. We're going to enter Jane's detail to be able to allow us to log into this VM. Okay, to do that, we just type my domain.com / Jane's, right? Jane admin, right? Okay, I'm going to check to see the password. Okay, I'm going to check to see the password right now. Okay, so okay, so this is it. So this is the username that we just enter. So, and then this is the password. Okay. To see. Okay. So just say okay. So now we've officially joined this computer. We say welcome. Let me just not miss this message. Okay. We say welcome to mydomain.com domain. Okay. We've officially done this, so we can say okay at this point. Did we something? We can just say okay, and the system will restart. Just say close and then restart now. Okay, so the system will restart just to authenticate what we've just done. Okay, so we open back our checklist to see where we are at. Okay, so we've actually done this, done this, done this. Okay, so log into domain controller and check. Okay, so wait, let's go back to 9 and see if we've done 9. Okay, so log into client 1 as the originally. Okay, we've done this. Okay, on 10 we said log into domain controller and verify client 1 shows up in Active Directory users and computers, and create a new organizational unit called clients and drag client 1 into it. So we're going to go back to DC1, which is our domain controller, to check if client 1 that we joined to the domain has showed up in the Active Directory users and computers. If it has, we're going to create a new organizational unit called clients and drag the client 1 that has showed up inside this organizational unit. Then we've completed this step. So let's go back to our domain controller. Okay, just to be sure where we are, I click on start and say system. Okay, so we're in Windows Server. Okay, so we're in the right place. Close back this. So okay, so we are 10. Okay, so to check if client 1 has showed up, just click on start, click on Windows Administrative Tools, click on Active Directory users and computers. So I'm going to expand mydomain.com and click computers. So we are very sure now that client 1 has showed up. So we're going to create an organizational unit called client. Okay, so copy this to C, and then right click on mydomain.com and click organizational unit. Then we'll paste it and then we'll say okay. So we've created clients. It's here. So we're going to drag open computers. We're going to drag client 1 into clients. That's what we're asked to do. So click on client 1 and drag it into this place, and then confirm yes. And then when you click on clients, we see that client 1 is inside clients. We've done this, and then we'll move to the next one. On 11, it said configure client 1 so that non-domain users, okay, non-domain users can access and log into it. In this lab also, we're going to still create a bunch of users. Like I showed you before, computer during installation has created some users for us, but we're going to still create a bunch of users to show you how these things are done, okay? Although I've showed you one, which is how we created Jane. Showed you how to create Jane. We right click here and we click new, and then we click on users, type in, and then give, put the password and username that we're going to use to create the user, and then the user is created, and then we promoted Jane and gave her admin rights, right? So in this lab, we're going to still create bunch about 10,000 users, under this my employees, so we're going to create a bunch of users here in this lab. You're going to see how it's done. So we've performed this. Client one have showed up and we have dragged it inside client. So, and then we're asked to configure client one so that non-administrative users can access it. Okay, non-administrative is people that users that are not registered, they are not officially created here, can actually log into this, this into this VM, into this computer. And to do that, they asked us to log into client one, as Jane, using Jane's admin. And because Jane is an admin and we've joined client one to our domain controller, Jane now has rights to log into client one, with her details. Okay, to do that, we're going to close this domain controller, and then we're going to open client one. We're going to log back into client one. Okay, to do that, I'll open my VM and copy the public IP address of client one. Okay, try to log in again with Jane's admin. Okay, desktop. Open the desktop, Control V. I'm gonna be trying to be fast right now because it's actually taking more time. Add users, right? Use the different users, and I'll copy Jane's admins. Okay. Use Jane's details to log in. Sorry about that. Use Jane's detail, Control C. Control V. Okay. This one. Control C. Okay. Control V. That's okay. Minimize this. Check this. Say yes. So we're now into client one with using Jane's admin. So I'll open my but I'll scroll down to see what next needed to be done. Where is this? Open my check. Okay. Second. Okay, open my checklist while the computer is opening. So we are going to configure this. So I'm going to copy again my link and open it inside the VM that we've just opened. Okay, so client one. To open this, bring this down, and open the VM. Okay, I think by now I must have finished loading. Okay, continue. Okay, so we are now in client one using Jane's admin. Okay, Control V, just load it. Okay, and I'll bring it to the side. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'll switch. Yes, okay. Scroll up. I think this is where we are. So log into client one with Jane's admin login details, which is this. We've done that, and then we are trying to configure client one so that non-administrative users can actually access it. Okay, so right click start, click system, click remote desktop. Okay, so we're going to see select users that can remotely access this, so which users did they access to add? Domain users. So I'm going to copy this to see, and I didn't copy it very well, so I'll go back and copy it. Domain users, right click and say copy. come here and say add. I'll type it, Ctrl V, and I'll check it. There exists, and I'll say okay, and I will say okay, and I'm done. Okay. Then I'll move to the next one. Configured client one and added an instruction so that non-administrative users can actually log into the system. Now is the part where we have to create a bunch of users to to add to our domain controller, okay, to our Active Directory users and computers. Like I've explained earlier, you can actually use the manual process to actually create users, but I've actually configured a code that can allow us to create up to 10,000 users within 5 minutes, okay? So you can either click on this script right here and click on it to open. So once it's open, we're going to copy this script later on, okay? Just let's go back. So we're asked to log into our open our domain controller with Jane. I think we already logged into domain controller as Jane. So we're going to try open. I think this is this, and then scroll up. This is open here too. Okay, so and then we're going to open PowerShell eyes and run on as an administrator. Okay. So click on start and type in PowerShell eyes. When it opens, right click it and say run as administrator. Okay, say yes. So I'm going to close this one. So I'm going to minimize this so that I can see my lab checklist. So when it opens, just create new script and then try to save this new script to the desktop or anywhere you want with a different name you want. I think I can click here to save the script. I want to save my own in desktop. Feel free to save anywhere you want, and I'll just say AD script, okay? And then save to the desktop, okay? Then I will go on and copy this script. Okay. I'll open the script again. Okay, click on Ctrl A, Ctrl C. I'll copy it and I'll come here. I'll say Ctrl V. I'll paste it. So I want you to observe something inside this code. This code is being designed to create 10,000 users in our Active Directory users and computers under an organizational unit called employees. Okay, and then the password of all these users is going to be password 1. After creating the script right now, we're going to pick one of them and then try to log into client 1 with it. Okay, so we've pasted this. To run the script, just come here, click run script and say okay. Oh, okay, we got it. So it's creating right now. It's creating this bunch of users right now in our Active Directory computers, users and computers. Okay, so why this is creating, we're going to check our Active Directory. We're going to check our Active Directory of users and computers to check if this is actually reflecting this. To do that, just click on Start, click on Windows Administrative Tools, click on Active Directory users and computers. So when it opens, click on Employees, and then as you can see, nothing was here before, right? And then these users are being created. Okay, these users are being created in numbers. Okay, so the script is programmed to create 10,000 users in here. So if you keep refreshing this, click on it and keep seeing more as they are coming in numbers. As this is writing it and it's automatically creating it here. It's interesting, right? So you're going to try to copy one of this, just one name, and try to log into it, log into client 1. I think that takes us to the next thing we have in our lab checklist. So we've run the script officially and it's creating. And then on the 13th step, say observe the new created users in Active Directory users and computers under employee. We've observed it, and then attempt to log in to client one with one of the accounts. Take note of the password. We've taken note of the password I've shown you in the script. There is a password instruction here for all the users being created. The password one, and it's going to create 10,000 users. Okay, we've done that. Okay, so to do that, we're going to just pick one of the users. So I'm going to pick the ones that I can actually remember. Scroll up. These users are too many. Okay, so but let me just go up and pick one from up. Okay, so I'll open Notepad just for easy documentation. Notepad, I'll bring it here, and I'll pick this, right? Or let's pick Badnik. Okay, so let's pick Badnik. Okay, so before we do this, we just say add domain controller. We're going to add name of control, name of our domain controller, because actually we've added. Let me show you. We've added our computer client one to our domain controller. Okay, so we're going to log into client one using the users, adding the name of the domain plus the users what's it called, the users name that we just picked, right? So to do that, okay, look at what I'm looking for. E.g., look at it. So if you copy this, just for easy, just come in here and paste it. Just remove this user and type in the name of that user that you just copied. I want to use Badnik, okay? Buddy.nick, okay? Okay, so I think this is it. So I'm going to copy it and then try to log in, open our client one, and then try to log into it. Okay, so minimize this. Allow this to be creating while I minimize this computer, and then I'll open client one. Okay, this is client one. I'll kill the connection to log off. Let me save the name. I could just copy it so that we don't get lost. Okay. So so I'll open remote desktop again. Desktop connection. I'll copy the IP address, public IP address for client one to log in back to it, which you see. Okay, I'll paste it here. Okay, say connect. Okay, so I'll copy this name that I've just copied from inside, and I'll say more users, more choice, different accounts, Control V, and the password, remember, is capital letter P, password 1. To check it, just click here. Make sure that you got the right thing, password 1. Okay, just say okay, and we are logging in already. So Badnik. So we've logged into this computer just to prove to you that we can, and we've created this user, and the user now have access to client one because we enabled an instruction, or we gave a command to the computer to allow non-administrative users like Badnik to actually gain access to it. We configured the computer to allow non-administrative users, to actually log into it. So we created this network, and then we've logged into it. So while this computer is loading, I'll minimize it. I'll go back to the lab checklist for us to see where we are. And I think we are actually, done. So I'll open the lab checklist. I think we're done for the lab, okay? So we've done this, employee, we've done this. we've observed the users being created under this operational unit. We log them into client one with one of the users created under this operational unit, right? With the password, right? We've done this, and the next instruction is we're going to go back to the computer and see if it loads. And if we finish loading, we are going to actually you see that we allow our script to finish running, or we can actually kill the connection. So we are actually logged into this computer as admin. Okay, so it's cool. It's interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, so we are just logged into this computer as admin. So I think I'm going to kill this connection, and just to show you that we can do it, and that we've done it. So we'll just go back to our domain controller and see that the 10,000 units users are being created. So I can close ActiveDirectory users and computers, and I can stop the script here if I want. So I can stop it, but in your case, you might decide to allow it to finish. I've got enough users that I want proceeding in my lab. So I think that is where we come to the end of this video. I know it's a bit long, but I think it's worth it. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.